In a cramped, semi-basement apartment in a poor neighborhood of Seoul, South Korea, the Kim family struggles to make ends meet. The family consists of 4 members: Ki-taek, the father, who is unemployed; Chung-suk, the mother, a former athlete now without work; Ki-woo, the young adult son, who is clever but lacks a college degree; and Ki-young, the daughter, who is artistic and quick-witted. They scrape by with odd jobs, like folding pizza boxes, and rely on Wi-Fi signals stolen from nearby businesses. Their living conditions are grim, with constant flooding, pests, and the stench of the streets seeping into their home. One day, Ki-woo's friend Min-hyuk, a university student, visits and gifts the family a decorative scholar's stone, said to bring wealth. Min-hyuk is leaving to study abroad and recommends Ki-woo as a replacement tutor for the wealthy Park family's teenage daughter, Dae. Min-hyuk provides Ki-woo with forged documents to pass as a qualified tutor, sparking the Kim family's scheme to infiltrate the Park household. Ki-woo, posing as a sophisticated college student named Kevin, interviews with Mrs. Park, Yeon-kyo, the naive and affluent mother of the Park family. The Parks live in a stunning modernist mansion designed by a famous architect, a stark contrast to the Kim's squalor. Impressed by Ki-woo's charm and fabricated credentials, Yeon-kyo hires him to tutor Dae, who quickly develops a crush on her new tutor. During his time at the Park house, Ki-woo notices the family's reliance on their housekeeper, Moon-gwang, and the chaotic behavior of their young son, Dae-song. Seizing an opportunity, Ki-woo suggests hiring an art therapist for Dae-song, recommending his sister Ki-young, who poses as Jessica, a professional art instructor with no apparent connection to Ki-woo. Ki-young forges her own credentials and wins over Yeon-kyo with her confident demeanor and fabricated expertise. She manipulates the Parks into believing Dae-song has artistic potential, securing her position. Next, the Kim siblings orchestrate the dismissal of Moon-gwang. Ki-young plants evidence suggesting Moon-gwang has tuberculosis, exploiting Yeon-kyo's fear of disease. The Parks fire Moon-gwang, and the Kims recommend Chung-suk as a replacement housekeeper, presenting her as an unrelated, highly experienced domestic worker. Chung-suk, now posing as a professional, is hired without suspicion. Finally, the Kims target Mr. Park's driver. Ki-woo and Ki-young stage a scandal by leaving incriminating items in the driver's car, leading to his termination. Ki-taek, the father, steps in as the new driver, completing the Kim family's takeover of the Park household staff. The Kims now control key roles in the Park family's lives, earning steady incomes while maintaining the illusion that they are unrelated. With all 4 Kims employed by the Parks, their financial situation improves, though they continue to live in their dilapidated apartment. The Parks remain oblivious to the deception, treating the Kims as competent but invisible servants. The film highlights the class divide. The Parks' wealth affords them luxury and ignorance, while the Kims' cunning is born of desperation. Ki-taek, driving Park, overhears dismissive comments about the smell of poorer people, a subtle but recurring motif that underscores the Parks' unconscious disdain for those beneath them. The Kims exploit their access to the Park mansion, reveling in its opulence when the Parks are away. One rainy night, when the Parks leave for a camping trip to celebrate Dae-song's birthday, the Kims gather in the mansion's lavish living room, drinking and feasting. They fantasize about their future wealth, with Ki-woo imagining marrying Dae to inherit the Park fortune. However, their celebration is interrupted by an unexpected visitor, Moon-gwang, the former housekeeper, ringing the doorbell in the pouring rain. Moon-gwang pleads to be let into the house, claiming she left something behind. Chung-suk, unaware of the danger, allows her entry. Moon-gwang rushes to the basement, revealing a hidden bunker beneath the mansion, built by the original architect as a secret shelter. Inside, Moon-gwang's husband, Gun-sae, has been living for years, hiding from loan sharks. Moon-gwang has been secretly feeding him while working for the Parks, and now, without her job, she begs to keep the bunker a secret. The Kims, eavesdropping, accidentally reveal themselves, and a tense confrontation ensues. Moon-gwang realizes the Kims are a family and threatens to expose their scam by sending a video of their confession to the Parks. The power dynamic shifts, with Moon-gwang and Gun-sae holding leverage over the Kims. However, the situation escalates when Chung-suk pushes Moon-gwang down the bunker stairs during a struggle, leaving her gravely injured. The Kims lock Gun Sae in the bunker, but their plan unravels further when Yeon-kyo calls, announcing the Parks are returning early due to the rain. The Kims scramble to clean the mansion and hide their tracks as the Parks arrive. Ki-taek, Ki-woo, and Ki-young hide under furniture while Chung-suk, as the housekeeper, manages the Parks' return. The Parks settle in for the night, with Mr. and Mrs. Park lounging on the living room couch, unaware that 3 Kims are hiding beneath it. The Kims overhear intimate and derogatory conversations, including Mr. Park's complaints about Ki-taek's smell. Eventually, the Kims escape the house, but they return to their own apartment to find it flooded by the storm, their belongings destroyed. They spend the night in a crowded emergency shelter, their dreams of wealth shattered. The next day, Yeon-kyo plans a lavish impromptu birthday party for Daesung at the mansion. The Kims are forced to resume their roles despite their exhaustion. Ki-woo, carrying the Scholar's Stone, descends into the bunker to confront Gun Sae, only to find Moon-gwang has died from her injuries. Gun Sae, enraged, attacks Ki-woo, knocking him unconscious with the stone. At the party, the Parks and their wealthy guests enjoy a sunny afternoon in the mansion's garden. Gun Sae escapes the bunker, wielding a knife, and storms the party. In a chaotic outburst, he stabs Ki-young, who collapses, bleeding. Daesung, witnessing the violence, faints from shock, and the guests panic. Chung-suk fights back, killing Gun Sae with a skewer, but the horror continues as Ki-taek, overwhelmed by the chaos and his pent-up resentment, witnesses Mr. Park's disgusted reaction to Gun Sae's smell. In a moment of rage, Ki-taek grabs a knife and fatally stabs Mr. Park before fleeing the scene. Ki-woo, regaining consciousness, survives his injuries but faces legal consequences alongside Chung-suk for their role in the events. Ki-young succumbs to her wounds, and Ki-taek remains a fugitive, his whereabouts unknown. The Scholar's Stone, once a symbol of hope, now represents the Kims' doomed aspirations. Years later, Ki-woo, now living modestly with his mother, observes the Park mansion from a distance. The house has new owners, and Ki-woo discovers that Ki-taek is hiding in the bunker, having taken Gun Sae's place. Ki-taek sends Morse code messages through the mansion's flickering lights, which Ki-woo decodes. In these messages, Ki-taek expresses his loneliness and regret. Ki-woo writes a letter to his father, fantasizing about earning enough money to buy the mansion and reunite their family. In his imagination, he envisions walking into the garden, embracing Ki-taek as the sun shines. However, the film ends on a somber note, returning to Ki-woo in his semi-basement apartment, suggesting that his dream of wealth and redemption is unattainable. The class divide remains insurmountable, and the Kim story concludes with a haunting reflection on inequality, desperation, and the elusive promise of a better life.